Hi, my name is Damon Brown of DamonBrown.net. My thing is helping you, particularly if you are a solopreneur, a side hustler, anyone I consider the non traditional entrepreneur. I'm here for you and help you on your journey because I'm one of you and I've had my own success stories building from now. And you're at right now, there's never a better time to build than right now. Today we're talking about a really interesting concept that I explored in a recent Inc. magazine column that I've done. You can look over at inkdamonbrown.com to check out my latest column. Today we're talking about how changing your use of the word have can help you become more grateful. This actually got inspired by Seth Godin, who from afar has been a mentor of mine, and I've actually been involved with him more directly through the Kimbo workshop, particularly the marketing seminar. Really good stuff. You can learn about it at kimbo.com. But this was actually before I got involved with him as a mentee. And he talked about the word have versus the words get to. So, for instance, he basically says changing have to get to shifts it from an obligation to a privilege. I have to get up in the morning to go to work. I have to get up in the morning to take care of my kids. I have to get up. I have to do this particular thing to get this other thing done. I have to do this thing to get a paycheck. Let's take all those and shift them. I have to get up in the morning to go to work. I get to get up in the morning because I have a job or a career in my case, right? Always go for the career, not just the job, right? I have to get up in the morning to take care of my kids. I get to get up in the morning because I have kids and I wanted them and I have a family. I have to do this thing to get a paycheck. I get to do this thing and actually get paid for it. It changes the vibe of things. Let's unpack that a little bit. There's a couple different levels to it. First of all, it really gives you the whatever it is that you have to do, which you get to do, it gives you the perspective of an opportunity to experience it. For instance, back to the kids analogy, I have two little kids, 7 and 4. You've probably heard them on different recordings or videos, particularly during the live sessions I've done recently. It's like you'll see their curly hair all over the place. It is what it is. That's part of being a non-traditional entrepreneur. And I've been able to do great stuff beyond them and also with them as far as doing my startups, my 4 TED Talks, and the new book coming out, Built From Now. That's all been done with my little kids at home, particularly during this period of time where we're sheltering in place. So I have to take care of them every single day while my partner slash wife has a more traditional job and she has to go out of the house. And so it's been my job to take care of them, particularly during the stretch of time. I get to do that. I get to see them grow every single day. I get to see them learn new words. I get to answer all their questions. And they have many, many questions. My background is journalism. They did not fall far from the tree. And so I get to do that. And it has not been easy. If you're a guardian or a parent or any involved in any day-to-day activity with raising kids, guiding kids, you know it's tough stuff. I don't mean the occasional uncle or aunt. I mean like the day-to-day stuff. It's hard. But I get to do that. I'm not going to pretend to say that I'm not tired right now, but I have the privilege to do that. I know so many people, and you might be one of them, who wants to have a family, and for whatever reason, it's not working out. You know, I know so many people who are alone, and they don't have someone grabbing them by the neck and trying to give them a big bear hug first thing at 5 a.m. in the morning, which is most mornings for my wife and I. So I get to have that experience. So when you shift it from have to get, then suddenly there's that, I can feel my heart opening up. There's that sense of gratitude and it expands things. And suddenly it's like, okay, it's rough and I have the privilege of doing this. So it opens you up to experience. You get to do it. The second part though, which is for someone who I like being at the steering wheel. I mean, my best-selling books, they're all independently published. you know, I've been a full-time freelancer for, I just had I can't even say it, 2 decade anniversary of being a full-time freelance journalist. And I've been independently bootstrapping companies. My second one, called Cuddler, went viral, went really big, ended up selling it. I'm used to doing things independently, and I'm used to creating on my own. I like being at the steering wheel and having control over things. I talk about this in another discussion that we have about the money moves that independents and bootstrappers should make. And part of that is me having control over my brand and where it's put. Not just having control over it, but actually being able to steer the ship and say, I'm going to do this deal, but not this deal. And once you give away some of your control through getting outside funding, aka not bootstrapping, or you end up doing it under a traditional company, as in having a traditional publishing deal with, if you're doing music, or again if you're publishing books, and I was doing these books through traditional publishers, then I wouldn't be able to make the moves that I make. I digress. All I'm saying is that I really like being in control. What's nice about saying shifting from have to get to is that it gives you the power of choice, right? So when you get up in the morning and you have a particular job that you have to do and you don't feel like doing that job, for many of us, we might not like the options, but most of us do have options. You know, my back is sore right now. My kids are asleep. I got them to sleep. I got a million things going on. That's kind of the penalty of leadership, as Jay-Z would say in one of his songs. And so that's part of the process. But I could also go, and luckily I have 2 college degrees. I have a bunch of books under my belt, as they say. I have lots of options. I could become an editor somewhere, whatever. And so I have the power of choice. I don't have to continue to publish books. I don't have to continue to do the one-on-one coaching. I could choose and get a more traditional job. That's a choice. I could also choose to give up the autonomy. I could choose to not have that opportunity to connect with you one-on-one. I could choose to not work at, 9 o'clock at night and do these cool videos, and instead have a more traditional job and not have the opportunity to connect. This is the power of choice. And we forget about that when we have our so-called obligations. We forget about that we've actually designed in many ways the life that we have. And if we haven't designed it as far as thoughtfully, then we have designed it as far as, for lack of a better term, omission, by not making certain choices. I have a video / audio that I talk about that your life can go in a different direction based on one decision. It's worth looking up. And I talk about this more. We are often in control more than we think. And those times when we aren't taking control are the times when we aren't taking control. So all those are particular choices. When you shift from have to get to, and you don't feel gratitude for it, then you might realize you don't really have to do that. You actually have other choices on the table. And for someone like me, who likes to be at the wheel, then it gives you that power of choice, where you're reminded that when you have the little kids running around, when you're, running your own business, when you're wearing 15 different hats because you're independent, you realize that that's something that you chose to do. And if you chose to do that, not only does that give you and remind you of that power of choice, but it also, again, gives you this level of gratitude where you're like, oh, wow, I did choose this. When I was a teenager, I knew I did want to be independent. When I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a father. Oh, okay, this is the life that I chose. Not the David Byrne thing. This isn't my beautiful house. This isn't my beautiful wife. But you're actually checking in and saying, no, this is actually what I chose. And I get to do this because I have this. I think that's a good note to end on. If you wanted more insight as far as how to make the best of your resources, come by and grab Build From Now, How to Know Your Power, See Your Abundance, and Nourish the World. You can get it at damonbrown.net. Check it out. It's actually coming out April 28th, 2021. If you're listening or watching this before that, come through damonbrown.net. It's available on all the platforms, but come to my website. Come buy directly from me. Not only will you get a signed copy, but you also get a really special bonus as soon as you buy it. It's downloadable, and that's the most I can say. But come over to damonbrown.net and check it out. If you want to get more insight on your resources right now, as in you don't want to wait for the book, then come over to buildfromnowquiz.com. That's buildfromnowquiz.com. I have a super brief quiz. It's free. It's 3, maybe 4 questions, multiple choice. It will help you understand the best resources that you have in your life right now so you can build from now and do amazing stuff. Again, come through to buildfromnowquiz.com. There's also info on the book there, so feel free to come to that, take a quick quiz, get more insight, grab the book if you want, or if you don't want. I'm cool with either one, but I want you to help you get to the next level. And again, as I said, know what your options are. So until next time, remember to always bring your worth and always remember that you can build from now. Take care.